Every emotion you feel is a broadcast signal. Right now, as you sit here, your body is transmitting at a specific frequency, and the universe is tuning in. You've been told to raise your vibration so many times it probably sounds like a bumper sticker by now. By the end of this, you'll understand why that phrase describes a mechanical process as real as gravity. The Kybalion, that dense little book attributed to 3 anonymous initiates, lays out 7 principles governing reality. The third principle, vibration, states that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. From the densest rock to the most fleeting thought, all of existence is in constant motion at varying rates of speed. The ancient Hermeticists understood this thousands of years before quantum physics confirmed that atoms are mostly empty space, humming with energy. A table looks solid. Touch it. Your hand meets resistance, but zoom in far enough and you find particles oscillating at speeds your mind can't track, separated by vast distances relative to their size. Your body follows the same rule. Every cell pulses. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field measurable several feet from your chest. Your brain produces electrical patterns that shift depending on whether you're anxious, calm, focused, or drifting. These are measurable, recordable frequencies. You can watch them on a monitor. So when the Hermetic tradition says your emotional state has a vibrational signature, it means something specific. Grief vibrates at one rate, joy vibrates at another, fear contracts and slows your field. Love expands it. You felt this in your own body, the heaviness of despair that makes your limbs feel like concrete, versus the lightness after genuine laughter, where your chest opens and your shoulders drop without you trying. That shift is a frequency change happening in real time, in your tissues, in your field. Here's where this gets practical. The principle of vibration doesn't operate in isolation. It works alongside another Hermetic law, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. As within, so without. Your internal vibration corresponds to, and attracts, matching conditions in your external world. The Hermeticists taught that the universe operates like a vast resonance chamber. Strike a tuning fork in a room full of tuning forks, and only the ones calibrated to the same pitch will respond. The others stay silent. Your emotional state is that first tuning fork, and your reality is the room. Most people try to manifest by thinking about what they want. They visualize, they write lists, they repeat affirmations in the mirror, and then they wonder why nothing shifts. The missing piece is visceral. Thinking about wealth while your stomach is knotted with financial anxiety sends a contradictory signal. Your thoughts say abundance. Your body broadcasts scarcity. The universe doesn't read your vision board, it reads your frequency. Neville Goddard understood this at a level most teachers still haven't caught up to. He taught that the feeling is the secret, and he meant feeling in the body, the actual sensory and emotional experience of having what you desire. When he said to live in the end, he was describing a vibrational instruction. Place yourself, emotionally and sensorially, in the state where your desire is already fulfilled. Let your nervous system settle into that reality. Let your breathing change. Let your shoulders relax into the posture of someone who already has what you're reaching for. That postural shift, that breath pattern, that gut-level calm, those are frequency adjustments. Think about the last time you received genuinely good news. Remember the moment before the details even registered, when your body knew first. A warmth spreading through your chest. A sudden exhale you didn't plan. Your face changing before your mind caught up. That body-first response is the frequency of receiving. And you can generate it deliberately, without waiting for external permission. This is where most people stall though. They try the feeling for 5 minutes during meditation, then spend the remaining 23 hours and 55 minutes vibrating at the old frequency. Worry, doubt, checking for evidence, scanning their bank account, refreshing their phone. Each of those moments is a broadcast, and the universe doesn't average your signal. It responds to the dominant one. The Kybalion is explicit about this. The higher vibration dominates and transforms the lower, but only when it's sustained. A brief spike of joy inside a sea of chronic anxiety gets swallowed. The ocean wins. So the real discipline of manifestation, the part that separates people who transform their lives from people who collect techniques, is the maintenance of state. Neville called it mental diet. What are you feeding your inner world, hour by hour, When a fearful thought arises, do you entertain it, argue with it, try to push it away? Each response keeps you engaged with it, keeps you vibrating at its level. The Hermetic approach is different. You acknowledge the thought, then deliberately return to the frequency of your desired state. You don't fight the old vibration, you replace it. A tuning fork doesn't argue with the wrong pitch. It simply sounds the right one, and resonance does the rest. There's a subtlety here that trips up even experienced practitioners. Matching the vibration of your desire requires you to release attachment to the outcome. That sounds paradoxical. You want something intensely, but you have to feel as though you already have it, which means the wanting itself has to dissolve. Wanting is a frequency of lack. Having is a frequency of fullness. You can't broadcast both simultaneously. The Hermeticists describe this as the difference between the lower and higher rates of vibration. The lower rate clings, grasps, contracts. The higher rate rests, trusts, remains open. You've experienced this paradox in small ways. Think of something you once desperately wanted: a relationship, a job, an opportunity that only arrived after you genuinely let go. You stopped checking, you stopped strategizing. Something in your chest unclenched, and then, almost absurdly fast, the thing appeared. That wasn't coincidence. That was you finally matching the frequency of having rather than wanting. Your signal cleared, the room full of tuning forks could finally hear you. The Kybalion says that spirit and matter are the same substance vibrating at different rates. Spirit at the highest rate, matter at the lowest, with infinite gradations between. Your emotions live in that spectrum. They're more refined than physical matter, but denser than pure thought. They occupy the exact middle ground where the invisible becomes visible, where intention begins to crystallize into form. This is why emotion is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. A thought without feeling is a blueprint with no builder. The emotion is the builder. It carries the vibrational force that moves an idea from the mental plane into the physical one. When you practice this, you'll notice something that might unsettle you. As your dominant vibration shifts, people and circumstances that matched your old frequency start to fall away. Friendships feel different. Conversations that once felt normal start to feel heavy. Places you used to frequent lose their pull. This can feel like loss. It is loss of the old resonance pattern. And the temptation is to reach back, to re-engage with what's familiar, because familiar feels safe even when it vibrates at a frequency that keeps you stuck. The Hermetic tradition would call this the natural consequence of transmutation. You've changed your rate of vibration. The universe is rearranging to match. The discomfort you feel during this transition is the friction between who you were and who you're becoming. It passes, but only if you hold the new frequency through the turbulence. Drop back into the old state for comfort, and the rearrangement halts. You snap back to the previous configuration like a rubber band. This is the real cost of transformation that most manifestation content skips over. Changing your vibration means changing your identity at the level of feeling. Every morning before your conscious mind fully boots up, you choose which frequency to inhabit. Those first few seconds, where your body remembers an emotional home base and defaults to it, that's the battleground. If you can catch yourself there, in that half-awake moment, and deliberately settle into the feeling of your desired state before habit takes over, you've won the most important fight of the day. Everything else follows from that morning frequency. The Hermeticists didn't write the Kybalion as philosophy. They wrote it as an operator's manual. Vibration is the mechanism through which consciousness shapes matter. Your emotions are the dial. And you've been turning it unconsciously your entire life, wondering why the station keeps playing the same song. You know the frequency of what you want. You felt it in flashes, those brief startling moments when everything aligned and your whole body hummed with rightness. The work is learning to stay there. One breath longer than yesterday. One morning where you catch the default before it sets. 1 hour where the old worry surfaces and you let it pass through without gripping it. Each time you hold the new frequency, the signal strengthens. Each time it strengthens, the room responds. The tuning forks are already listening. The only question left is what song you're willing to sustain.